Welcome to LaTabella, the table, our family's table.
Today we got a treat. We're going to prepare Cornish game hens with a wild rice, black japonica rice mixture, and sauteed mushrooms. Sounds pretty exotic, you know, Cornish game hens. So we looked it up on the internet. What is it? It's a chicken. It's a chicken. It's not game. It's a chicken that's breeded to be a certain size.
Breeded bread. Sorry.
Bread?
It's bread.
Oh, it's a chicken that's bred to be red. No, it's bred to have a robust white meat and a small size, and it's juicy, tender. I thought we were going to do game, but I guess I misunderstood.
They're so cute. Wait till you see them. We had such fun stuffing them.
To go along with that, we're going to have some roasted carrots and Brussels sprouts.
Oh, no.
And for dessert, a special treat. I guess it's a special treat. Mine known as chocolate cake. It's made from scratch. I got the recipe, whispered in my ear on her deathbed. No, not really, but whispered in my ear, written down. I made it a few times. I think I may have made a mistake in transcribing the recipe because something's just not quite right. So, but I'm hopeful this time we'll get it a little bit better. So with that introduction out of the way, let's get cooking. We're going to start by making some mushrooms and shallot. This came from Phyllis's garden, by the way, this shallot. So we're going to chop up some baby bella mushrooms. And Phyllis, if you wouldn't mind putting I got some butter out there into the frying pan here and a little olive oil. We're going to saute these up just a bit. We're going to give this a little finer chop.
I'll put that in the pan. Looks like it's about ready.
All right, and then I'll start on the shallot. We'll swap sides. And this, I think we're just gonna, because it's so small, we're just gonna do like little rings here. All right.
Yep.
We're gonna let that saute up a bit. Love the aroma of mushrooms sauteing in butter. There's not much like that in the culinary world. I can assure you, Nona would not have had shallots. Garlic and onions, that was it. There were no leeks in Nona's farmhouse kitchen. There were no shallots. There were no chives. There was basil, parsley, oregano, and onion. There were no supermarkets. Everything came from her foraging efforts. I would say this is done, so we're going to shut this off, and we're going to put this into the wild rice stuffing. Now, as I said earlier, it's a combination of wild rice and black japonica rice, and it's the colors. The pan is ugly inside, but I'll show you when the thing here.
It has almost a purplish brown kind of hue to it.
Plop.
I used a little bit of chicken stock while I was preparing the Cornish hens. I took some of the giblets from the Cornish hens, put them in a little pot of water with some salt and pepper, chopped up some carrots and celery, and just made a little stock. And I used that in the place of the water in the directions.
Okay, so here's the cute little Cornish game hen. It's small. It's about 2 pounds each. You can get them at the supermarket. They happen to have a great sale on these, which is why I bought them. Going to season it, stuff it, tie up the legs, and get this into the oven. A little salt and pepper mixed together in this bowl. This is olive oil and some thyme, also from Phyllis's garden. Brush this all around, get it on the inside. This all adds flavor. It'll interchange flavors with the stuffing. It'll add flavor to the stuffing. It'll absorb flavors from the stuffing on the inside of the bird and hopefully be delicious. Some chefs will tell you don't overstuff it because when it cooks, it'll swell up and it'll blow out the chest of the chicken and it'll look a mess. I like stuffing. Fill it up, baby. Bring it on, all the stuffing you can fit. We're going to tie the legs together to kind of make it all compact. It also will help to hold in the stuffing. And having it compact means it'll cook more evenly. So, tie myself a good knot. Hello. And the wings, just tuck those underneath the bird, the tips like that, and kind of puts it all together. And pop it in the oven, and then be on with the next dish. So Brussels sprouts and carrots that we're going to season with some herbs and olive oil, salt and pepper, and roast them in the oven along with the Cornish hens. We're going to cut off the base or the stem. Some people suggest you kind of poke that with a knife so that it'll cook more evenly. I'm just going to cut it in half and toss it in the pot here. Okay. Carrots that Phyllis was kind enough to cut up for us, peel and cut up, I should say. It's got olive oil, salt, pepper, and thyme from her garden. Thyme is a very safe herb. It goes with almost everything. It's really a good herb. I'm going to add a little more salt and pepper. We tend to be generous with salt and pepper as we cook. So this is going to go in the oven, roast along in the same oven as the game hens.
One more thing. You didn't tell them how long to roast the chicken?
Oh,
What temperature?
350 degrees. It's Cornish hens, not chicken. Oh. If they're stuffed, about an hour and 15 minutes. If it's not stuffed, around an hour, 350 degrees.
Test them with the fork and make sure that they're done tender and they have a nice brown kind of nutty look to them. I think you'll be pleased.
Getting ready to make some chocolate cake, scratch chocolate cake. Nona's recipe called for 1/3 cup of water in a saucepan and 3 ounces of unsweetened chocolate. This happens to be Ghirardelli, I'm not quite certain how they pronounce it. So it's on a low heat, and we're going to stir constantly until the chocolate melts, and then we're going to take it off and let it cool while we prepare some of the other things. And this is always a little tricky, melting chocolate directly on the heat. A lot of chefs take the time to put a pot of boiling water and then a double boiler or a glass bowl on top and melt the chocolate in that. But Nona wouldn't have done that. Nona does it this way. She would have did it this way. She would have melted it in the pot because she's only going to dirty one pot. This, I'm going to show you this and see if the camera can pick it up, is not exactly the texture I'm looking for. It came out very thick, so I'm going to add a little more water and see what'll happen. There's an awful lot of chemistry. I hate to bake because there's a lot of chemistry that takes place inside each and every little bowl and pot. And it's you know, when you start messing with recipes and changing the proportions of liquid and changing the pH, certain reactions won't take place like you want them to. This has come out really thick, and it's not what I'm looking for. There we go. It's starting to, we're starting to get a good, the smoother melted chocolate look. It's kind of risky, you know. You start adding more water,
Chocolate smells
and
delicious.
the chocolate could break and curdle and who knows what.
No, it's a few more steps than buying a mix at the supermarket, but I will tell you, for the few extra minutes that you spend doing a scratch cake, you gotta just try one once in a while. It's so superior to the best mixes that you can buy on the supermarket shelf. I just think it's just wonderful.
Okay, so that's what I'm looking for in the way of melted chocolate. Okay, that was the first step. Second step is we are going to cream butter and sugar. Nona's recipe called for 2 cups firmly or tightly packed brown sugar. Don't know why, that's what it called for. And 1.5 sticks of butter. She didn't specify salted or unsalted. I'm using a combination, some salted, some unsalted. So 1.5 sticks of butter. I cut them in smaller pieces so that they'll mix up nicely here in the big mixer here. And 2 cups of firmly packed brown sugar. My firmly packed may be different than yours. I may press harder or not as hard as you do. So we're going to put this on low. Start it on low. And we're going to cream the sugar and butter. It's all recipes that include butter and sugar start with, in baking, start with the creaming step. And I'm going to turn this up just a little bit more as we go along. Oh. What did she have? One of those rotary things, hand crank rotary, yeah?
Exactly.
Yeah, point taken.
This is delicious. Well, while he's mixing that, I'm just going to finish these buttered little layer cake pans. I'm going to dust it with a little bit of flour. It just helps to be able to get the cake out when it's all finished. And I just give it a little tap, making sure you're getting that flour all the way around and coated. And then whatever excess flour you have, you just dump it into the sink, and that's good. Yep.
Okay, going to turn this up a little bit higher. It's creaming up nicely. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to borrow the spatula here and scrape down the sides. Incorporate everything that's in there, get it a more homogeneous. Add eggs, vanilla, and beat well. So if you don't mind cracking a couple of eggs for me. 2 eggs, by the way, and a teaspoon of vanilla. We're estimating on this. That's about a teaspoon.
There you go.
Thank you. I'm going to turn that up a bit higher now so that it mixes well. Next, we're going to blend in the chocolate. You know, I don't feel like wearing chocolate today, so I think I'm going to use some discretion here and put the chocolate in without the beat. It's coming along nicely. It's got a great aroma, and I love the smell of chocolate. That's a good smell.
Like kind of a satiny mocha look to it, would you say?
I would say.
Yep.
Did you want to get closer? Okay, I'm going to scrape down the sides again. All right, next we have 2 cups of flour. I use all-purpose unbleached flour. And in here I put in a teaspoon of baking soda. I don't know why, that's what Nona told me. And a half a teaspoon of salt. So we'll get that back up. And this we want a lower speed as we work these ingredients in, because if we beat it too much or overwork it, the cake will not be tender. So we're shooting for tender cake, right? I saw Martha Stewart do this, so if it's good enough for Martha Stewart, it's good enough for me. And we're going to add a full cup of water. I think we're done here. This better be worth it. Nona's going to kill me if I don't get this right. I'm going to give it just a last minute stir with the spatula to get everything all together. This seems a little looser than the last time I made it, but we shall see. Try to divide it equally between the 2 pans. Or if you prefer, you could put it into one larger pan. It could be square. I think this recipe would work better with these are 9-inch cake pans. I think it would work better with an 8-inch cake pan. It would give it more room to rise. But we make do. That's it. Give it a couple of whacks on the counter. All right, we're going to get these in the oven. They're going to bake for about 25 minutes at 350 degrees. Then we're going to take them out, cool them, and assemble the cake. As you can see, unmolding the cake from the pan didn't go that well. There's lots of areas where it's stuck. There was plenty of butter, plenty of flour. We thought about frosting it to cover it up. I mean, what else do you do when a cake doesn't look good, right? You frost it and you cover up the mistake. So that's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do.
He was looking through the cookbooks. He was looking at all these mousse recipes, and they were so complicated and so laborious. Let's keep it simple. Let's take instant chocolate pudding and whip up some cream and just incorporate it in, and let's pretend that it's mousse. Who's gonna know? And that's what we did. And you know what? It tastes pretty good.
Instant pudding and pie filling from the supermarket in a box. You beat it up cold with milk. 2 cups of milk, 1 box of powder, 2 minutes with a handheld electric beater or a whisk, and put it in the fridge till it sets up. That's all there is to it. And everybody knows how to whip cream. You take heavy cream or whipping cream.
Look at that. Nice.
You add a little sugar and you just beat it up till it forms stiff peaks. So I'm going to fold these together. And we fold because the whipped cream's got a lot of air bubbles in it. That's what gives it its structure. That's why it's not liquid anymore. There's been another chemical reaction that's taken place. And we don't want to destroy those bubbles because we want it to stay nice and light and fluffy. So we're just going to add that. Now, some people would say add a little bit of this to that, then put it all back in here. No, wouldn't do it that way. So we start in the middle, and you pull towards yourself, and scoop up whatever's on the bottom, drop it back in the middle. So I'm going to go a little bit faster now. And I'm going to keep folding till it gets to be monochromatic. Me, you?
No, you go ahead.
Just going to dump it on top. For the sake of time, I mixed a small batch of this and used it in between the 2 layers of cake.
Didn't we find that refrigerating it for several hours prior to serving it seemed to work out better in terms of how
think
it's set up?
I think it improved
Yeah.
but it also improved the flavor of the cake. Oops. If we were if we were real Food Network kind of TV chefs, we would have had Martha Stewart, for example. She would have had paper under the cake so that at the end she could pull the paper out and there'd be no frosting on the plate. We try to make a little little waves and peaks and stuff.
Missed a couple of spots here and over here.
Don't lick those fingers. All right.
One more thing.
Yeah?
I decided that we needed a little kind of just something, a little decoration, nothing fancy. A little shaved chocolate. Oh, it's gonna look great.
Okay. We're going to finish this off with a typical Italian finish, which is gremolata. The Milanese use it a lot on their ossobuco, and other regions use it too because it's so delicious. It's a little topping. Typically, not always, but typically minced garlic, lemon zest, and finely chopped parsley mixed together and just sprinkled all over the meat course. So let me do that for you so you can see what I'm talking about. We'll try to do this without chopping off a tip of a finger.
And the lemon zest and the parsley just gives it a nice burst of kind of fresh flavor. It just goes very well together. So I think that's an excellent idea.
Okay, so we're going to do this by cutting parallel slices that way, horizontal slices this way, and then chopping this way. Be careful when you do this. Careful of your fingertips. Well, it takes eye-hand coordination. Go slow until you've got that down pat. I don't have it down pat, by the way, so I used to when I was a younger lad, but not anymore. All right, next we're going to chop up or mince up some of this parsley, and that you just run your knife across, reposition it, kind of fluff it up a little bit, and you need a good sharp knife for this. These cutting mats are not really good for this kind of work. They need to be stabilized. Some people say a wet paper towel underneath will help to stick it to the countertop. But again, you want to be careful while it's moving on you that your fingertips don't get under the knife blade. All right, and we like coarsely minced, right? Everybody say yes. Yes, coarse is good. That means I can stop. And lastly, zest of lemon, just the zest, not the white pith, which tends to be bitter. If you don't have one, this is one of the best kitchen tools. It's a microplane or a zester or a rasp. Rasp. It's called all of those things. It's also called frustrating when it does that. And you just run it across the... I think this one probably needs to be replaced. Yeah, I'm going to go shopping. I bought this. I bought this in New York. Zabar's.
Oh,
Best grocery store in the world, my opinion. Other people too. Zabar thinks it is. And they have a great...
Jewish delicatessen, that's really what their speciality is, and it's just a fabulous. Their bagels and cream cheese and Cornishes to die for. Wonderful.
All right, I think
A little more zest.
there's plenty in there. It just needs to...
Okay.
When you're having trouble on the camera with the zester, you want to hurry through it. You don't want to prolong it.
Oh.
Right?
I like more lemon.
Right, camera? Give me a nod.
Yeah. All right. I guess you can go shopping.
You don't know what a breakthrough that is. She's had me on a tight leash. All right, fluff the whole thing up with my fingers.
Helping. I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat.
Drizzle it.
I'm gonna put some on the vegetables as well, 'cause I think
That's a
it's
good
gonna
idea.
be pretty tasty on there too.
And I'd like to add a little extra virgin olive oil.
That's always good. You can't go wrong with extra virgin olive oil.
Wait for me.
You can never
Wait
have
for me.
too much.
Wait for me.
Okay. There we
And
go.
for those of you counting your fat grams, it's worth it.
Perfect.
Okay,
Looks wonderful.
we have Cornish game hens stuffed with wild rice and rice. Pick your own rice mixtures. You can buy great mixtures of rice that are prepackaged at the supermarket or your specialty store, and all sorts of grains and herbs mixed in. Find one you like and go with it. Carrots and Brussels sprouts roasted in the oven with some thyme, olive oil, salt, and pepper. Phyllis decided to add some cranberries, thinking that will go good with the hens. And last but not least, the cake, the dessert. We made a quick and easy cheating kind of frosting that covered up some of the imperfections in the cake. We're going to kick it up a notch. We're going to add a little bit of instant coffee granules. This happens to be a Starbucks product. We don't want to give them a plug, though, because John will get mad at me. But we're going to just sprinkle a little bit of that on top. Oh, my God, that's going to be so good. And we're going to shave some chocolate on top also. This is a 60% cacao. That's a funny word. This is a very thin bar, so you're not going to get those big, beautiful curls. But this is more for flavor than for looks. And just use a regular vegetable peeler. And keep going till your hands get tired. Or your guests get impatient. Thank you for joining us. We loved cooking this meal for you. If you have any questions on this, check out our Facebook page. Send us your questions. We're going to try to get recipes up on Facebook. LaTabella with Mario and Phyllis. Check us out. Talk to us. Tell us what you'd like to see us do next. And until we're back for our next episode, this is the Phyllis and Mario saying ciao.
Ciao, buon appetito.
Buon appetito.